Hey guys, welcome back. We are back with Top of the Key, but now we're on the YouTube platform. Top of the Key is back. I'm here with my main man, Ezel. Go ahead, say what's up, bro.
How's it going, man? How's it going, everybody?
Good, good. All right, well, you know how we do it. We got a couple topics just to discuss for you today. We got just a little mid-season update. We got the top teams in the East, top teams in the West, giving a little update on the MVP race, and then I guess the top breaking news this past week. The GM Dell Demps from the Pelicans was fired. I think we know why. I mean, it's not too hard to figure out why not.
Illusion.
But anyways, let's go right into it, man. So starting off, we're on the East Coast. We're going to start off with the East. So top three teams, in my opinion, then I'll let Ezel go ahead and make his opinion. I feel that top three, you have the Bucks, who are 43 and 14, won 8 of their last 10, leading by a possible MVP candidate in Antetokounmpo. You have a first-time All-Star player, Chris Middleton, held down by a solid point guard, Eric Bledsoe. You got Malcolm Brogdon. They did just trade Thon Maker, but they do have Brook Lopez, who's been playing a lot better than people have been expecting this year. So they're overall a solid team, probably the best team in the East so far. Going below that, you have the Pacers, who actually surprised a lot of people, especially Victor Oladipo's play. Unfortunately, he did go out, for the year with the knee or the thigh.
How many games has it been that he's been since he's been injured?
Close to 10.
And they still at the top of the East?
They're still at the top. I mean, they've got a decent squad. They've still got Miles Turner. They've got Wesley Matthews now. I mean, Victor Oladipo was kind of like the heart and soul. They still have Thaddeus Young. I'm trying to think of who else might be some household names on that team. It's not many. Victor Oladipo really did make up a lot of that. Yeah, I don't really know too many of the guys that would really make a huge contribution other than those guys. But
I feel like
on,
with Victor Oladipo being such a big part of that team, with him being being out about 10 plus games, and Indiana still being top 4 in the East, their coach probably would get a lot of votes for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's true too. And then moving on, right behind them, I actually have the Raptors. So the Raptors have been solid since the beginning of the season. They haven't really slowed down that much. 43 and 16. I really thought they might have been willing to move on from Kyle Lowry, but keeping Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, you also have now the addition of Marc Gasol. The surprising move. I didn't think they were gonna do it, but they ended up doing it. So now I personally think Marc Gasol is a upgrade over Valanciunas, even though he might be a little up there in age. But you still got some good players coming off the bench. You got Van Fleet in there. You've got oh my God, what's the kid's name that's always every time they play the Heat, Dwayne Wade's always it was Delon Wright. There we go.
Delon Wright.
Yeah, he's been coming over there too. You still got Terrence Ross ended up in Orlando. Scratch that. But I mean, Toronto's got an overall solid team. I mean, I feel like the difference between the Raptors then and before, even with them firing their the coach, which I think wasn't the greatest move, but even with them firing the past, I feel like Kawhi Leonard just being close to or being the top 3 defensive player in the league, and also being like a top 7 offensive player in the league as well when healthy. I mean, I think that's a move you kind of got to make regardless of what the fan base thinks. Even if DeMar and Kyle were best buddies, you got to do what's best for the organization. And it really kind of has paid dividends. Now, the only thing that they have to do to make sure that this was a good move is to make sure that they actually get a decent run in the playoffs without losing to someone in the first round. I mean, now
Most
LeBron's gone,
definitely.
they don't have to worry about that anymore. But
And I feel like not only with the roster changes, not only with the coaching changes, but we got to keep in mind that a big part of their issues in the past has left in LeBron James. With him going out west and him playing for the Lakers now. This got this team playing with a lot of confidence. You got arguably one of the top 5 players in the world on their team now with Kawhi Leonard. Got upgrades with Pascal Siakam, and I feel like this team just has a really good bench. Even though they changed and lost some of their depth in acquiring Marc Gasol, I feel like top to bottom they probably have one of the deepest rosters in the East, and
yeah,
if not
deepest,
in
yeah,
the
because they
entire
still have,
NBA.
because we both forgot about OG too, Anube.
OG. And I had OG Anunoby as before they got Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard. I had him as a starter this year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we didn't even say Danny Green. I mean, come on. I mean, he's a veteran, solid shooter. A two-way player if you think about it, really.
most definitely
Yeah,
plays both. Another one of those 3-and-D guys plays both parts of the floor, offense and defense. Is a constant professional on and off the court. And
he's
really
got.
brings a lot of veteran presence to that locker room.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think this year they probably should have just as much confidence as anybody in the league as making a run to not only the playoffs but maybe even an NBA Finals appearance.
And that's probably something they needed. They needed some championship DNA in that roster. Especially them coming from a Spurs organization. I think that's a change of culture that the Raptors needed, having them been falling in mediocrity for so long. I think that's really kind of helped them out as far
I
as
wouldn't.
helping the young.
Honestly, Josh, I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't necessarily say falling to mediocrity. I would just say falling short of what their potential was. Because it seems the past couple
Well,
of years they've been top 2, top 3 in the East,
well,
and every time they just fall short in the playoffs.
yeah. What I mean by mediocrity is falling. I mean, it's the same as like you just said. It's the same exact result every single time. They go top 3 team in the East just to lose in the first or second round of the playoffs and never get past or get to the conference. But I mean, they did at one time in Brooklyn. How many years ago was that? That was, oh God, that was when Paul Pierce and KG and Joe Johnson and them were still in Brooklyn. Yeah. How long ago was that? I was in high
That was,
school. I was
yeah,
in
most definitely. Quite a few years ago. That'll go down
yeah,
as one of the first.
5, 6 maybe. So for the past half a decade, that's it. That's all you got to show for. So I mean, I get it. I get it. You know, I just I don't know. I feel like if you're running the same rat race, ending up in the same spot, and it wasn't always because of LeBron. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. I feel like a change of culture is what they needed. So maybe not the coach firing, but definitely getting some new DNA on that roster definitely helped.
Most definitely. So basically, you're going with Milwaukee at number 1. You're going with Indiana at number 2 for you, and
Well,
you're going at
honestly,
Toronto.
let me change that because Indiana, up until this point, Indiana's been performing. However, I do see them falling out of that, and between the
I was gonna
76ers
say
and
the
the
exact
Celtics,
same thing. I was gonna say
yeah,
the exact same thing.
yeah, between the Celtics and the 76ers are going to take it. If the Celtics can still, because I mean, the problem is that you've got too many. Your payroll is spread everywhere, right? That's the first problem. The second problem is Gordon Hayward project hasn't really been playing out like they thought it would. You got
Do you feel like he fits on that team?
no, not anymore. Not since they got Jason Tatum.
I know it seems like he's still working himself into shape, but he just doesn't seem like he fits on that team to me. The
That's
same thing with Jaylen Brown. It's like I still love Jaylen Brown, but with the emergence of Kyrie Irving being back in the team, it seems like Jaylen Brown has really taken a hit, taken a lesser role as compared to what
exactly.
he was able to do last year in last year's playoffs.
So I mean that also goes into the conversation. Like, are they gonna re-sign Kyrie, or would they rather pay a little bit cheaper for Terry Rozier? Because one, you've either got to supermax one guy and then figure out how to keep the other guy content, or lose him, or go the cheaper route. And Terry Rozier is still a solid point guard. He can still start, and he definitely was on that run when they got to the playoffs to push LeBron to what was a game 7?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Game 7. But even going back into that, we don't even know what's going to happen in the near future in free agency because let's be honest, are a lot of these players even going to be on the team next year? You talking about Terry Rozier, talking about Jaylen Brown, talking about Jason Tatum, all whose names have been brought up in trade rumors recently, trying to acquire Anthony Davis, and we know that's a big part of what's going to factor in whether or not they can keep Kyrie Irving in the summertime.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of change going to be coming in the NBA. I think that, yeah, there's definitely going to be a shakeup in the league because who knows? Kawhi might not even stay in Toronto. Who knows?
Might not.
LA.
Might be
Klay
going to
Thompson
LA, might be going to the Clippers, might be going to the Lakers. Who knows?
and the Clippers got money. But now that we're on, the whole Clippers, let's go ahead and start off with the West. So obviously the Warriors are the Warriors, and they will be the Warriors for at least another 3 or 4 years. Now, with that, what do you mean? I mean, okay. If
Things
Durant
might
leaves,
shake up. Things might shake up, Josh.
he really.
With the rumors, speculation of Kevin Durant possibly going to the Knicks, with the rumors of Klay Thompson possibly, if he's not offered a max contract, leaving in free agency and possibly teaming up with LeBron and Lakers, we could be looking at a completely different roster. And
A
let's not
whole
forget
new
the
NBA,
Marcus Cousins.
Yeah, he's definitely on the move somewhere. Oh, I totally forgot. He's definitely on the move. He could go to LA. Go to the Clippers. The Clippers got money, and it's still LA. Why
A
not?
lot of teams got money, if we're being completely honest. Clippers got money. The Knicks got money. The Lakers have a little bit of money, you know.
And guess who don't got money?
Hey, chill out, man. And
Yeah.
we can't be biased on this show, man. We gotta
Yeah. Guess
keep
who
it pretty
don't
even.
got money? We don't
Uh,
got a dollar worth of nothing because we wrapped into these boo-boo contracts with Kelly Olynyk, Keanu Waiters.
hey, they finally traded Tyler Johnson.
I mean, you knew that was gonna happen sooner or later. I mean, they had to dump the salary. $50 million is just too much for a bench player. It's just too much.
So who you got going out west? Who's your top 3? We got Golden State at the top. We can
So
all agree with that one.
so I'm gonna go real quick. So Warriors 41-16, they're obviously the top. Nuggets right behind that, 39-18, solid record, and they have one of the best home records in the league. Obviously, because not obviously, but a lot of it does pertain to the fact that they have a higher altitude in their arena, so it is a lot harder for other guys to, not a lot, but it is harder for other players to breathe up there necessarily.
This isn't like anything new. This has been known for years.
Right. I'm just saying it adds on to it. And then you have the Thunder right behind that. So I think
any surprises out west? So in your top 3, any team surprising you? I would say it's Denver. I would say Denver is. I would say a complete shot, but they're playing some really good basketball.
But that wasn't like unpredicted. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it was Jokic has been playing good for multiple years. It was only gonna take a while before Jamal Murray really starts clicking.
Mm-hmm.
You got Harris, you got Paul Millsap, you got Trey Lyles. You also
just got Isaiah Thomas back.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, we
mighty IT.
I guess. They also got come on. Who else? Will Barton, Will the Thrill. Come on, man.
3 really solid bench players. I can't think of their names at the top of my head. But honestly, that team is really deep. We can make the case they're also one of the deepest teams in the league too.
Now, how do they play with a healthy Michael Porter Jr.?
I forgot all about Michael Porter Jr.
That's what the rest of the league did. They forgot about
the crazy part is people forget Michael Porter Jr. before his injuries in college, he was projected
to be the number 1 pick,
a top 2, top 3 pick in the draft. So you looking at, this team obviously has I don't see them winning the championship this year or next year, but they're going to be in the top 4 or 5 teams in the West, not if not the league for the next 4 or 5 years. Very
Yeah,
promising
they're well
future.
on their way.
Very
They're
promising future.
definitely well on their way. But yeah, so Thunder, I definitely have them right under that. The emergence of Paul George playing back to the way he used to. Wow, that means we went way over time like normal. But we're gonna keep going because that's what we do. So the Thunder, obviously Paul George has been instrumental. I feel like I'm not gonna say Carmelo Anthony was the problem. I don't like calling people a problem, but I feel like Russell Westbrook being a very ball heavy guard, a ball demanding guard, I really feel like, he needs a shooter, one that can, really help him out and space the floor out. And then Paul just really been able to just dump points on top of him, and in a commanding way. I mean, he's got 28 points per game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, almost 2.5 steals per game. I mean, he's literally like an offensive machine that he can run to. Because even if Russell Westbrook's still getting these triple doubles, he's not always averaging like 20 points a game on these triple doubles. Sometimes it's 10 points, sometimes it's 12,
Yeah,
but he's doing a
it
bunch of
seems
other
like this
things.
year, Russell's been a lot more trusting in his teammates, not in specific with Paul George, letting him take more of an authoritative role, especially in the fourth quarter. Not taking shots away,
Yeah,
letting Paul George progress and be the best version of himself. I feel like the chemistry has been a lot more on point this year.
yeah, it's
They're really they got it kicking, they got it flowing. Like you were saying, Russell's not doing what he had to do like 2-3 years ago when he was just by himself after Kevin Durant left and having to average 30 points, 10, 11 rebounds, 10, 11 assists. Now it's about 18, 19, 20 points on like a few less shots per game. His efficiency hasn't really gotten any better, but it seems like he's been a lot more trusting in his teammates, and the Thunder have been propelling to do a lot better ever since that.
right. Right. Yeah. And I mean, also, they're the number, even though Paul George isn't really, he's towards the top tier in all these categories, even though he's not necessarily leading any of them. He's also helping out the number 3 ranked defense in OKC. So, I mean, he's just doing a lot on both sides of the floor and really helping, taking that, like you said, taking that load off of Russell Westbrook. So just moving now, kind of that gives us a good, chance to segue right into the MVP talk. So I'm just gonna pick it right back up. So my 3 MVP candidates in no particular order: Paul George, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and James Harden. So we just talked about Paul George and why he should be considered MVP. He's really came back to those old form. A lot of people said he wouldn't come back to play the way he did before the leg injury, and now he's really starting to show that. So I mean, even on top of that, he's just really just becoming that other star that OKC needed, and is really it's really starting to pay dividends. I mean, they're in the top 3 of the West, which is no small feat. Like they have a really good Portland Trailblazer teams right on their back. So I mean, for them to even be doing this out in the West shows really good promise. But moving along to the candidate, James Harden, the man's averaging 37 points a game, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. To a guy that they said never played defense, I mean, 2 steals. Come on, I mean that could be anything. Now that could be a lot. Stats don't
Could
always
be some empty,
full
could be
scores.
some empty stats too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we didn't count the free throws in here, but you know, I personally think that when Chris Paul comes back, this same type of production from him is not going to continue. But I mean, he still is on pace for having the 8th highest scoring season in the NBA history. The only one that's done that, or the only one that's done that since, is 23-year-old Michael Jordan. So it's been quite a while. So, and then since somebody's been doing something like this, the only thing that would really keep him of, out of the MVP candidate race is the fact that how his team does in the end. Like I said, even though he can put up all these numbers, his team still may not do all that great in the end. But once Chris Paul comes back, I'm pretty sure that they will pick right back up where they left off, and they should make a good push in the playoffs. Hopefully, be able to dethrone the Warriors like they should have last year. But Chris Paul went out, and I lost money. But that's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the fact that Chris Paul was out and they lost solely. Well, not even that. They missed what was it, how many threes did they miss, or how many shots did they miss that
I
they
think
took?
wasn't it like record breaking? No, I don't know if it was
Yeah,
record
it was
breaking.
record
It was
breaking.
like 20 something threes.
Yeah, like missed threes.
Yes.
Sole reason why live and die by the three, and it just came to kill. That's literally all that happened. But yeah, man. So and then my last candidate, Kumpo, 27 points per game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. The man is, for me, if he had a consistent jump shot, the most unguardable player in the league.
We might not want to see that.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody else. I don't think they'll let him get
I don't
that
think the
good.
league's ready. I don't think the league's ready to see Giannis pulling up from 40.
Pull it up for that. I mean, they got the number one ranked defense, and they're leading league, and they have the league's best 9.6 points per 100. I mean, they're usually leading teams by at least 10 points at the end. I'm they've got all the right pieces. They're, like I said, a Giannis jump shot, a consistent jump shot away from being title contenders every single year. And they don't even need another player, honestly. They really don't. Giannis has been, from what he was coming in the league to what they've seen in him, he's become that, and then he put on so much, not even weight, just muscle in
Muscle.
general.
This guy's
Yeah,
literally. What's his nickname, Josh?
the Greek freak.
Can you say it one more time?
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. You say it. You say
This
it. I'm
guy
not.
is literally a freak of nature, man.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no
So
doubt,
you
man.
so you said in no particular order you had Giannis Antetokounmpo,
Mm-hmm.
James Harden, and Paul George.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm gonna flip it a little bit for you. I don't have too much to differentiate from what you have there, but I am gonna put mine in a particular order. I'm gonna put Giannis Antetokounmpo first. I'm
Okay.
gonna put Nikola Jokic second, and I'm
Okay.
gonna put James Harden third. And here's why. Um, the facts speak for themselves. The Bucks are first, not just in the East, but in the league with what 43-14 record.
Yep.
Um, I feel like Giannis Antetokounmpo is playing out of his mind. That he has that team playing great. He has good teammates around him, but we can all testify that there is a big difference between Chris Middleton, who is the second best player, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You know, but they're playing excellent. He plays both ends of the floor. He can basically do everything except shoot. He puts up what
Literally.
27. Hmm?
Literally everything
Literally,
except shoot.
literally everything.
Maybe he can pull mid range, but
But he's
maybe.
not. He's not. It's no shock. He's not Steph Curry from beyond the arc.
Of course.
So
Oh, of course not.
let's
The
let's
day
not
that
sleep on
happens,
him.
you
So
might
I
stop
feel like I
watching
feel
the
like I feel like we should reward the team. You have to reward the players. It's not like this team. It's not like it's the Atlanta Hawks who's got like a 60-22 record and no superstars. This team is the best team in the league record wise, and they
game.
have a legitimate MVP candidate. We've never really seen something quite like him. You know, 6'11", can run the floor, can play offense and defense. Is dominant. Nobody can stop him in the post. Is elite on the defensive end. You know, long arms. So I would say Giannis Antetokounmpo I'll put him number one for MVP currently, just because of how he has his team playing. Nikola Jokic, this man flirts with the triple double basically every night. His passing instincts are dang near unparalleled for a big man. The team. I feel like they just have a great top to bottom team. They have them playing, and they're in the Western Conference. They got them second in the West. If you would have told me early 2018 that the Denver Nuggets would be second in the West at All-Star break, I thought you were crazy. Not saying I didn't think they had a great team, but I just didn't expect that in the Western Conference. So I'll
Oh no,
put
I
Nikola
knew they would
Jokic.
be up there.
Hmm?
I thought they would. I
I
definitely
thought they
thought
would
they
be a
would be.
top 6 team. I didn't picture them being number 2 in the West at All-Star
Like,
break. I'm
that's
just gonna
true.
be honest. And then I feel like everybody's kind of piggybacking on James Harden as the MVP because he's putting out. Let's give the man credit. He's putting out crazy statistics,
Free
but
throws.
I also feel like not to take anything away from him, but a lot of these things that we're seeing in the regular season, I don't feel like we're going to see in the playoffs. I feel like he kind of manipulates the refs in the regular season. I'm not trying to seem biased or seem like a hater. I feel like he manipulates the refs in the regular season, but I feel like a lot of those calls he gets in the regular season, he won't get in the playoffs. We've seen it in the past when he put out outstanding numbers in the regular season, but when he go up against the Spurs, we all see what Kawhi Leonard did to that. You can't play isolation all game. It doesn't work. It does not work.
Yeah.
But
and
like I said, not to take anything away from the man, but I just feel like the other two candidates, it might be a little bit with James Harden winning the award last year. I don't see him winning 2 times in a row, but it's a bigger. We must keep in mind, the Bucks are the top team in the league, and the Nuggets are second in the West. So I feel like you got to reward those guys, and you got to reward the top players, the leaders on those teams as being the MVP candidates if it's deservingly so.
Yeah, and I gotta make another point about James Harden. I know a lot and I joke about the free throws a lot, but just to give you some perspective, the way James Harden is using the free throws to kind of add, points, obviously, a lot of it's not anything new. I mean, even Dwayne Wade during the 06 finals did that a lot.
No D Wade slander will be tolerated on top of the key.
This is not D Wade slander. This is new school following old school. That's all it is.
Back in the day, I would like to say Dwayne Wade earned those calls.
He did. Okay. I can see where you're going. Okay. I mean, regardless of the calls, are legitimate or not, I mean, he's still using the fouls to get to the line. I mean, can we not, obviously he took it right out of D Wade's book. Can we not agree that a lot of
we can agree with that. We can most definitely agree with that.
Right out of D Wade's book. But yeah, man, we definitely gotta keep this moving. We're starting to gain on time a little bit here. But last and final topic on top of the key. Here we go. We got the GM firing for the Pelicans. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and start, give your take on this, and I'll kind of wrap it up with my own.
Okay. I feel like it's really unfortunate. I think what they say he spent about 9 seasons with New Orleans Pelicans. They only made the postseason.
You said it's unfortunate. You said it's unfortunate.
You don't find that it's unfortunate that a black GM in the league is being fired and losing his job.
I mean, yeah. We're looking at it from that point. Obviously, somebody's losing their job.
But no. On a serious note, I don't mean unfortunate in just the fact I'm not gonna say necessarily he deserved to stay to keep his job. But I think under the predicaments he lost his job was unfortunate.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we all know it wasn't necessarily just all about how he was doing as a general manager for that organization. We know what it's all about. We know what it's about. Anthony Davis, Rich Paul, LeBron James. May I say collusion? Everybody likes to throw out that word collusion. But I feel like just how the trade deadline went about. What's been going on around the organization, how some people might feel Anthony Davis has been acting a little unprofessional ever since these trade deadlines and rumors came to the forefront and became public news for the whole world to see. And you got the coach calling what's going on a dumpster fire. It's seeming like it's chaotic. The team looks like they're all out of sorts. And I don't feel like that should have been necessarily all blame on the general manager just because the player doesn't want to play for the team and he's trying to kind of force the hand to be traded. That's not the organization's obligation to cater to the needs of their star athlete. The team has to look out for the best interest of themselves, and the best interest of themselves would have been keeping on to their franchise player and trying to get the best trade assets that they can get in return for him. So, I just feel like it's unfortunate. Does he deserve, based on his criteria and work that he's done in the year, does he deserve to keep his job? That's up for debate. But I feel like under predicaments that were given, we all know what's going on. The whole Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, LeBron James, and the organization just decided to let their general manager go because it just seemed chaotic. So I don't know if you feel the exact same way. I'm gonna give the floor to you to voice your opinion on how you feel it went, but I just felt like it was a little unfortunate. I don't feel like it was fair on the reasoning why they fired him.
Man, you already know what time it is. You already know what time it is, man. Look, like you just said, there is the man has done, in my opinion, he's done nothing to actually, outside of the whole trade deadline incident, he has done nothing to warrant him losing his job. Nothing.
Go ahead, Max Kellerman. Tell him how you feel.
Just I mean, the man really did nothing to lose his job. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate, but we know. I mean, the reason why he lost it is funny. I think it's because you have okay.
So you think a black man losing his job is funny?
No. You see, you went there. I didn't go there. I didn't even say that. I didn't even do that. You did that. But okay, so you have a disgruntled Anthony Davis, right? He's made it known that he doesn't want to be a part of the Pelicans organization. He's been through thick and thin with this organization. It looked like at one point they were going to work with him and try to help build him a team for him to stay when they got DeMarcus Cousins and they got point guards like Rondo and they got players to build around them. And they started letting them go and then they didn't re-sign DeMarcus Cousins. Then they didn't really like that, or Anthony Davis didn't really take that too kindly. Then he went off, to Golden State. Amid whatever rumors you heard, DeMarcus Cousins still is not in the Pelicans organization. Now you have enough. Now he's fed up with it and he wants to leave. As a GM, you are faced with, I can either get rid of him and get as much as I can for him now before we can get anything, or do I keep him and have a disgruntled locker room? Because a bunch of guys. Like even Drew Holiday even came up and was like, well, dang, I only really re-signed with them because I wanted to play with Anthony Davis. So, I mean, you've got to deal with stuff like that. So now, so the Lakers are really the whole menu. Like they opened the entire menu up to the Pelicans GM. The rumors how he didn't even pick up the phone, right? Like he wasn't even picking up the phone. He wasn't answering the calls.
Yes.
This and that. And now you have. He literally, one of the offers was so crazy. I mean, it went 2 first-round picks. Zubac, the European big man. Zubac, yeah.
Zubac.
Ingram.
Like Shannon Sharp says, Zubac.
Yeah, nah, you got that. You got that. I ain't doing all that. I ain't Shannon Sharp. But you got Zubac, however you say it. Got Ingram. Kuzma, Lonzo, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Rondo, and 2 first-round picks in the same package.
Potentially threw in Michael Beasley in that one.
I think he was in there too, but in the same package. And he did not take this deal. Why would you not take this deal? You have a young core and more. And 2 first-round picks on top of that. Why would you not?
Josh, you know what the craziest part about this is? Other general managers and owners were telling Dell Demps not to do this because they feel like
set the man up.
It would change the whole face of how businesses run. And they were warning him, if you agree to this trade and you give Anthony Davis exactly what he wants, you will be fired. And they didn't do that. And he was still fired.
Bro, they set him up. They set the man up, and they're not going to be offering him a job. So you kind of feel for the guy, Because, I mean, yeah, like I said, there was the whole, are you going to give Anthony Davis what he wants? And then for the owner to just go right behind him and, since he did. I mean, but you got to think about it. Now you didn't trade him, so now you got to deal with the Anthony Davis in the locker room and in your arena. You got to deal with season ticket holders. Now your prices, your sales for the tickets are going lower because now your top guy, the guy that's selling the most of your tickets, now wants out the door and has made that public. So now everybody else knows. They're booing him at the home games, and now you've got a toxic locker room. So was it worth it? No, not really. I would have made the trade regardless of what other GM told you because in that type of business, man. if you're not the owner, your job isn't really safe. It's
Yeah.
based on performance.
And
So
Anthony Davis just hurt his what is it, shoulder just the other night.
yeah, just hurt his
And, you know,
shoulder
you gotta,
and he.
what we have to understand is his trade value doesn't get any higher as time goes by. I doubt, they keep saying the Lakers are still going to have that same package in the summer. But
No.
with time going by, they're eventually going to have to make a trade. And your offer is only going to get less and less as time goes by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. So I think, yeah, Anthony Davis will probably be gone by summertime. Where he goes, I don't know. That depends on the rest of the league. But
hey, man, they might ship him off to Toronto like Kawhi.
shoot, Kawhi might stay. Then you got a real problem.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, you didn't think about that, did you?
I don't know. Are you trying to throw something out there? Could we see Kawhi and Anthony Davis in Toronto with Drake?
Yeah, that's an absolute problem for the East if that happens.
And then
All they
Drake
need
drops
is
the new
decent
album.
point guard. Drake what? He'll make a whole surprise album just for that. But yeah, man, that's my take on it. Unless you got anything else for the rest of the viewers.
No, sir, man.
No, sir. Out of gas, man. Yeah.
Out of gas, man.
Out of tape.
It's been a while since I heard from you, man. You were an undergrad last time we chopped it up on the podcast, man.
Oh, I had to graduate.
Man, you probably got a beard and all by now.
Nah, man, it ain't like that. It is not all that, man. I just went and got my degree. Shoot, but all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to newest episode of Top of the Key. We will be back in a couple of weeks, probably. I got to work on the schedule, but we will be back consistently. Ezo, you got anything left for him?
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to work with you again, man. Look forward to the future, man. Let's get things popping on Top of the Key.
For sure. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on Top of the Key.